Hey guys, John here, your host on MGTOW is Freedom. MGTOW, men going their own way. Men denying, right, the gynocentric social programming and a social agenda, social engineering. Men denying the need, right? Men denying women their position in our lives as the requisite that we have to feel justified, right? To be accepted by women, right? That's the story we've all been told, right? That exists. We have to have women. We have to have their acceptance, right? That we're not men unless women say we are. That's what MGTOW is about, is denying that. Taking control of our own lives again. And saying, you know, enough is enough with this business. We've had enough of it. Right? So we have what? Collectively, men know what's going on, right? And they just pretend it doesn't exist. But MGTOW has been a kind of a philosophical brand that has gotten some traction in the world. And by world, I don't mean the United States. I don't even mean the Anglo world. I'm talking the whole world. Because feminism is a worldwide anti-man agenda. It's not just a localized phenomena or something that's occurred for 5 years. It's been going on a long time, right? So now we have MGTOW, and it's a loose knit organization of men who just talk about and caution and warn other men about what's going on and what we can do about it. You know, there's no National MGTOW Congress. It's not a political action committee. It is individual men making individual choices about their individual lives and taking what individual action they think is prudent, necessary in order to free ourselves, right? And once we free ourselves, then we can choose to help others as we see fit on an individual basis. So someone can be MGTOW and no one knows it. Others can be MGTOW and do videos, right? And you can land anywhere in between and still be MGTOW. That is a man going his own way, concerned about himself, because if you cannot save yourself, how can you possibly hope to help and save others? It's impossible, right? A condemned man in prison with a life sentence is in no position to help anyone else, right? But those of us who see, right, feminism for what it is, you know, can do something about it. We can, and women don't like that. These feminists don't. So without lampooning Lady Grace, who I'm probably going to end up banning because she's just a little too active on the channel, but women like her are very angry about what MGTOW men are doing. And by coming to a MGTOW channel, that is just a huge mistake. Because you're coming into a hornet's nest of philosophers, a hornet's nest of men who have the experience. And some woman, any woman coming on this channel or any MGTOW channel and shaming us, trying ad hominem attacks, is pointless. Absolutely pointless. What are they hoping to do? Shame me so that other men read about it and go, "Oh, I don't want anything to do with this. There was an angry woman on here saying that they're wrong." To the contrary, I think these women that come on and expose themselves for what they are, they're actually helping us. So thank you, Lady Grace and others. Whether you come on and say, "I'm sorry women have done this, I'm trying to heal myself, right? I'm trying to find out what it means to really be a woman and not be a feminist," that helps men because they go, "Yep, that is confirmation that I was right." And for men who haven't come to that full conclusion yet by reading these women who attack us on here, it reinforces the idea that there's something here that's important enough to listen to. That if that if these penis-hating women are so petulant, are so threatened by us, that they have to come on here, then that gives credibility to the movement. It gives credibility to the philosophy. But leaving that aside, before I get to the meat of this video, I want to thank everybody for PayPal and Patreon. I would buy these cigars myself. I would drink the scotch. I would buy it myself. Right? Except you guys, you say, hey, man, I want to buy you a cigar. Thanks, brothers. I want to buy you a scotch. Right? Thank you. Right? Thank you. You guys want to do that? Makes you feel good? Makes me good? I accept your generosity. Right? So these women out there that are anti, fuck you. But there's something, now getting into the meat of it, there is something here that is really critical to understand about these women that show up here. They've never really rightfully been put in their place. And they see MGTOW as a threat to them. Right? They come on here and they're going to get an earful. Not only from me as the presenter, but you in the comments section. But why would they do that? Well, it is my firm belief that women are masochists. That is, they like to be put in their place. They need to be put in their place. And these women that come on here that attack, they just demonstrate that there's a problem. Right? That they have a problem. They were never disciplined as young women. They were told that they're just like men, that they could have it all, that they could do what they want, that they're equal, that they could get away with it. And secretly, these women that comment on here want us to abuse them. They're masochists. They need discipline. They were never told no properly. Right? They want correction. And they want their special rights. They're very confused. They're very confused. Right? They were never told no. They were never put in their place. They've been allowed to get away with everything having to do with feminism and their special rights their whole lives, and they're not happy about it. You would think they would silently shut the hell up and just keep screwing men over while they could, and getting all those free lunches and free dinners, and then using the courts, right, to divorce husbands and steal their wealth. You think that they would be satisfied with that, right? But they're not. They actually want to be corrected and told how wrong they are. So then when they come to MGTOW channels, not just this one, but all of them, they get the correction they so desperately want and need. They're told how wrong they are. And on MGTOW, it's not about just jumping up and saying women are whores and stupid and this and that. We use sound, philosophical reason and logic to describe what has happened. And we make good arguments as to why we should be MGTOW, why men should go their own way. And maybe there are women who wish that the system hadn't been destroyed, but I don't buy this story that women are going to go back to being traditionalists. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not going to go back there, not willingly. They're going to go kicking and screaming and liking it all at the same time because they're masochists. Because they're masochists. A lot of these women just want to argue and fight. They just want to argue and fight with us and try this name-calling, distraction stuff. But again, all that does is bolster our arguments as MGTOW. All they are doing is proving it to an even greater degree, right? That we're right about what has gone on and what has happened in our world. And again, it's not just America. It's not just England or Australia and Canada. It's the whole world. It's not just Western culture. It is the whole world. But these women are here for very selfish reasons. The same type of selfishness that drives them to whine and snivel and cry so that they get everything they want is the same reason they're here. They have a very selfish, personal need to try and destroy us. And they also have a very selfish and personal need, right, to be put in their place. They want the argument, but they want the correction. Because they've been denied their whole life exactly what it is that women need. Women know they're not responsible. And so when they get away with lying, when they get away with cheating and thieving, right, it creates a mental problem for them. Dogs, right, they, and I'm going to use dogs to describe this, right? If they are not given boundaries, they run. They run. Dogs that get off the leash, they run wild and they do what they want until they're captured and collared, taken back home, and beaten and put in their place. But once that dog gets off, right, off the reservation, out of the yard, they learn that they can get away with, and they see that those boundaries really aren't real. They cannot be brought back, right? But they still want that correction. They still desire, right, to be put in their place. But once they've had a taste of that freedom, they won't go back. So that's why this generation of women is lost. It's lost. But they still have this need for it. And they're going to continue their whole lives to despise men for their patriarchy and despise men for not enforcing that patriarchy. And so you and I are going to have to deal with these women for generations. At some point, I'll just fade away, right? But there's going to be other men that pick up the fight, the struggle. You know, they're going to pick it up and say, you know, they're going to run with it. But these women, they're going to be here forever. This lost set of generations, right? And these women that are saying that they're going to be traditionalists, they can't be. They can't be traditionalists, not while this carrot is held out in front of them, that they can take all they want and have everything they want. If you've got a dog that's a chicken killer and you leave it inside the chicken pen, right, it's going to continue to kill chickens, no matter how often you tell it it's bad. And when you tell a dog, you go, bad dog, bad, the dog puts its head down, right? It knows it's wrong. You can beat it with a rolled up newspaper. It's all analogy. And it knows it's wrong. It knows it's bad. It knows it's not allowed. It knows it's against the rules. But the moment you turn your back, it's going to go back to killing chickens. It's going to go back to running off the leash, right? So that dog desires, right, master's approval. But that dog refuses to obey master all at the same time. So these women that come on here, they're just the most guilty. They're just the most ashamed of themselves. They're just the ones that know they've been caught. But they're not going to change their ways. Even if they say they're going to change their ways, they can't. They can't stop believing, right, what they've been indoctrinated with. And even if you convince them the indoctrination was bad and that they should change their evil ways, they're still going to behave in a corrupt manner because they are corrupt. Because women basically, fundamentally, are children and they never grow past that. They are immoral. They are amoral. And once they make that decision, sometime after they hit puberty, when they make the decision to run, to kill those chickens, they are done forever. Oh, they can be as good as possible. And I'm sure if men could put collars on their little necks and beat their asses with a rolled up newspaper as often as that man sees fit, those women are still going to be corrupt. They're still going to be immoral. And they're still going to use their power when they see it, when they see the opportunity. They're still going to use that opportunity to misbehave. And for all the little girls growing up today, all the ones that are 2 years old, 4 years old, 8 years old, they're seeing their older sisters and their mothers behaving. And they're learning. They're learning. They're learning. They're being indoctrinated by the very mothers who probably know that they're wrong, right? who undoubtedly know that they're wrong. They're still going to learn from them, and they're going to mimic that behavior. So until the entire system is returned to a true patriarchy, we're not done with this fight. Women won't willingly not kill chickens. They won't willingly not run, right? Because they've been told they have equal rights. They've been told that they're free agents and they can do what they want. And they've been told, right, both educationally or indoctrinated and through social outlets and media, that they can steal from men, that they can get away with everything. And they're convinced utterly by the media that they should be adored and loved, right, revered, worshipped by men, chased by men. And it's creating conflict in their heads. They know for a fact they're wrong. They know it. So a dog will be running on the loose and another dog will see it and join that dog, and off they go together. And they encourage each other, the same way women who are off the leash encourage each other. Off the leash, they encourage each other and they tell each other, you go girl, you do what you want. You take him for all he's worth. Right? I ran into a friend of mine who's now in the middle of a divorce. And I asked my son about it. I go, what do you know about this? He goes, well, his wife is constantly talking to mom. That's right. My son listens to his mother tell another woman how to screw over a man. You think he isn't learning from that? This is true. He knows. My son knows. He listens to this. He's seeing it firsthand. Not because of what I say. Because I don't do these videos in front of my sons. If they have questions about what's going on in the world, I'll answer their questions. But he hears from her exactly what it is women are about. And men everywhere are learning this. Whether they're young, old, and everywhere in between, men are learning this and they're seeing it. And that's why the MGTOW movement is growing. That is why any hope on the part of men for a traditional marriage and a traditional family, it's going by the wayside. The destruction of the family, right, to fulfill the Marxist, communist, feminist ideology, it's coming about. They're getting exactly what they want, and that's the destruction of the family and the destruction of men. But men have said, that's enough. We've had it. Why should we participate in our own demise? Why should we support and fund with money the very system that seeks to destroy us? That's what marriage is. Right? And these women know it. And they're now starting to come to MGTOW channels and participate, trying to drag men down, making their views known as if we should just accept them as right and go, oh, geez, you caught us. Right? You came to the honeycomb hideout and you found us talking about women, and now you're going to shame us into behavior? No. I don't think they really believe that's what's going to happen. I think they're here because they're masochists and they want to be put in their place, and they're mad that they were never disciplined. And believe me, women are mad that they don't get spankings. That's part of them. That's part of what they are. That's part of who real women are. They need to be controlled. They need to be owned. They need to be disciplined by men. And they aren't getting it, and they're mad about it. So they punish men. They hate men for it because men are weak. By the way, all of these principles are covered in the John Norman Gore books. He talks about how women crave it, how they need it, how they want to be owned by men. And when men are weak, they are despised for their weakness. And that women will present themselves to men to be disciplined. They'll volunteer for it. And I'm talking about real discipline, real spanking. What do you think all of this 50 Shades of Grey bullshit is about? It's exactly what I'm talking about. Is these women who are reading that, they're a bunch of cock-hating, gold-digging tramps. But they love this idea, right, of a rich, powerful man owning them. They seek and crave that. And in the next breath, they'll say, not me, I would never do that. Then why are these books being sold by the millions? Why are the movies, which suck, so popular? Because women want that. I've interviewed them. They want it. They want to be disciplined and owned. But they've been indoctrinated with a system that tells them they can't be owned and they shouldn't be owned. So they are, every woman today is a study in the dichotomy between what a woman should be and wants to be and what they are. They are the most confused beings on the planet already, and then they add feminism to the mix. And they've created a war, the battle of the sexes. And they're fighting the very thing which their body craves, which their mind demands. And that is to be owned, to be disciplined, to be put in their place. These women that come to MGTOW channels, they watch it. They watch it. 10% of my channel, the subscribers, not just the viewers, but subscribers, are women. What are they doing here? You know, some would say that they're trying to learn so they can get around. And I believe that. Yeah, they're trying to get around. Those are the ones that are saying, geez, I'm sorry, I want to fix myself. Right? They want what they want. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. They want strong men, right? But they want to deny them that. Right? They want to try and get off the leash, but get caught before they get loose so they can be disciplined and spanked. But they've had a taste of freedom, and their immorality, their irresponsibility, their immaturity, you know, they want that too. So they're a study in failure. It's a designed failure. Feminism is. It's designed to tell women that they're free so that they can destroy us. And it's designed to destroy women themselves, real women. And I pity women who really want to be owned, but can't be because of the indoctrination. I pity them. I pity the ones that want to be true women, and they can't because of social pressure, or because of the conditioning they've endured for decades in their lives. And I pity the women that are growing up now that are going to see, right, that it would be better to sit at home and be Betty Crocker or June Cleaver. Right, but they won't be allowed to because men aren't going to have it. You know, these women, they're craving what it is men have. Not just our resources, they're craving our strength. That's why they say, man up, and where are all the real men? They want to know. At the same time, they curse men, right? And they chew through their leashes, and they get off, and they run, and they create havoc and destruction, right? The dog gets loose, and it terrorizes the sheep. It digs up the garden. It kills the chickens, right? It goes about destroying the very thing that supports it and makes its life possible. The dog, that is. Oh, wait, no, I'm talking about women. They destroy. They kill. Right? And then they lament the fact that they're hungry and starving. Isn't that just fucking bizarre? Who could think that way? Right? Who could think like a woman except a woman? That they want to destroy men. The very thing that provides for them and produces for them. That's made their lives easy. Right? What a ridiculous creature the modern woman is. It's only after they join the side of wrong. I'm not going to call it evil, but I guess you could. They've joined the side of wrong. And it isn't until that they participate in and taste in it that they realize the damage they've done to themselves and other women. Those are the ones that are lamenting it, going, geez, I wish it wasn't this way. Well, you've caused it. You've joined it. You've contributed, women, and you're mad about it. Isn't that right, lady? You hate men and claim you can make your own money. If that's so, then leave us men alone. Let MGTOW go their own way. Let as many men who wish to join MGTOW join. Quit cursing them. Let us go if you don't need us. But the fact is, you do need us. You need us to make the cities run, to make the roads smooth, to make the fancy cars you drive, right? To create wealth. But see, you don't want to share. You don't want to responsibly act. Isn't that right, lady? You want to kill the chickens and dig up the garden and chase and terrorize the livestock. Basically, you're crapping in your own punch bowl and you don't like the flavor. And so what MGTOW proposes is go get your own fucking punch bowl and piss in it all day long. But we're not going to share ours with you. Right? That's what men are about, is working hard and enjoying the fruits of our labor. And that used to include, when we're successful enough, having a woman and sharing it with her and sharing a life with her. That's what MGTOW, right, laments, is the fact that that has all been destroyed. Now, some MGTOW go so far as to say, women should have never been shared with, but then they wouldn't exist. Right? But for them, they're like, that's it. And they're those men that say they've never married and they never would and never will and haven't had children. Those are the same men that 150 years ago, 300 years ago, would have never got married then either. Some men are so monkish. They're like, I haven't fucked a woman in 30 years and I don't care. Those are the men that 300 years ago, 500 years ago, even at those times wouldn't have bothered. No matter how docile, submissive, and patriarchal a society would. They never would, and that's fine. That's their choice. For others of us, we wanted that. We have a belief in reproduction and dynasty and family. And we're the ones who have funded, unknowing and inadvertently funded these women. Right? And it's terrible. It's terrible. I conducted an experiment with my life, and that was it was encouraged by my desire to have children, to have sons, to carry on my name and my fortune, which has been utterly destroyed, the fortune part. And I'm rebuilding that on my own now as MGTOW, so that I can pass on to my sons, right, a demonstrable way of life, to show them the errors, to show them the success. And they can come to these MGTOW channels, not just mine, but any of them at any time and learn. And maybe they do. I don't know. And they're going to read comments from these women on here who are bald-faced admitting exactly what they've done wrong. And here we are, right? Women coming here to this channel, to other MGTOW channels, needing attention from men, right? They need it. And what does that attention consist of? Being put in their place. Because what is the first thing they do? They bark and growl and start shitting everywhere on people. And they get put in their place for it. They desire it. They crave it. They want it. They need it. Right? To justify their existence as women. Right? To show them. They want it shown to them. They want it demonstrated to them that there are men that won't put up with their shit. That will put them in their place. They need that in their lives. So they come to these channels now that they know about them. And they line up. Now, some women need to hear it directly. Right? So they comment and get yelled at. Other women just want to listen to the videos and get put in their place that way. To get the confirmation that they are women and that that's where they should be. Right? Because they know where they are. They know what they are. They know who they are. And they want to know that, that it's okay to be a woman. And others, they want to read the comments. They don't want to participate in the comments. That's too much for them. But just watching the video isn't enough. So they read the comments. And they get satisfied that way. What they're looking for is satisfaction. They're not going to find happiness because they've destroyed that for themselves. They're not going to find happiness. It's a rare, rare woman that is satisfied with her life that she's created for herself. That's a rare woman indeed. And I don't think they'll spend a whole lot of time commenting on MGTOW, right, or even thinking about it. That's a rare, rare unicorn of unicorns. But these women come here because they need justification, right? They need to find their place in this world. Somehow, some way, they need to know the truth. Maybe it's because they know they've been lied to the whole time. And so they come here to hear the truth, right? They can take some solace in that, some satisfaction in knowing that the truth does exist, right? But meaning in their life? What meaning? That's a question men ask themselves. What does my life mean? What is my purpose? That's a personal, philosophical question that a mature, intellectual, reasoning mind asks. Dog doesn't ask that. The dog just knows it wants to shit all over the place. The dog just knows it wants to chase the chickens and kill them. The dog just knows it wants to dig up the garden. The dog is just into satisfying its base ego needs. Men ask philosophical questions. Men get satisfaction through living their own lives. These women that come here, they are unsatisfied because they're not true to their own nature and true to themselves. And so they come here for abuse. They come here to be ritually put down. They come here to hear the insults. They want them, right? They're hanging a petard on their own door because they want to hear, right, that fight, that explosion. They need to hear it. They need to be disciplined. At the same time, they can't stand hearing it. Right? And I'm going to use a religious reference here. For those of you who don't want to hear it, you can plug your ears for the next 30 seconds, right? Men know they're imperfect, and so they create religious systems through which they can get absolution or find forgiveness for their failures and to learn from them and move on. So in Christianity, for example, you realize you're imperfect and you accept the sacrifice of the Christ-type figure. And then you move on with your life. You are now forgiven for being imperfect, and you go about your life and you live it. Right? We accept that we're imperfect as men, but that doesn't mean we use that as an excuse to attack others and blame others our whole lives. We accept responsibility for ourselves. We accept we're imperfect, accept responsibility for ourselves, and make our own way. Women can't do that. They can't. They cannot accept responsibility for themselves because they cannot care for themselves. The closest they've ever been is today, where women can get a job and produce enough income to support themselves. But these days are numbered. And MGTOW is one of the reasons. MGTOW is a symptom of the problem. And by symptom, I mean, right, it's just a way to show women how badly they've fucked up. They know they've fucked up. They know they need men. Right? What better evidence of it is there than the MGTOW movement or MGTOW philosophy? That's great evidence, isn't it? It is. It's great evidence that shows them. So here we are. Here you are. Here I am. And here the women are watching this. Some of them are biting their nails. Some of them are letting out a sigh of relief. Right? Yep, these men have caught us. Hopefully they put the collars back on our neck and take us into their homes and chain us to the kitchen sink. Never again to let us go. But that can't happen until the system is changed. Until the laws are changed. Not just so that they don't favor women more than men, but so that they cannot steal from us. Right? So that if there is a legal system, right, a legal marriage, it keeps them from destroying the very things that keep them alive. Until that's changed, this system is doomed. How long can it go on, though, guys? How long? 10 years? 20? Another 100 years of feminism? No, marriage is destroyed already. Marriage is a shambles. Marriage is a sham. Men know it, and men are learning it, and men are stepping away from it. MGTOW. and that is starting to bite women in the ass. It's taking money and power away from them, and they don't like it. So of course they're going to fight it. Right? Of course they're going to fight it. Because now everywhere women go, they're like that dog on the loose. They're being told, no, bad dog, no biscuit. We're not going to reward you. You want to run loose, right? Making little mutts everywhere by being whores. You're not going to be rewarded for it. There isn't any money for you anymore. We're not going to allow it. Anyways, just some thoughts. You guys have a great day. Please hit subscribe. Click thumbs up on this and all MGTOW videos on all channels. Right? And tell other men. This is key. This is the most important part. This is the part that women hate, is that men can talk to each other. That men can use social media. That men can use YouTube and point other men and say, come here and listen to these ideas. Agree with some of it, agree with all of it, apply some of it, apply all of it. It's up to men on an individual basis. But you don't need a woman's approval to live as a man. You need your own approval. You didn't get a job because some woman said you were good enough for it. You got a job because you busted your ass, because you applied yourself, because you worked hard. You don't need a woman's approval for that. You don't need a woman's approval for anything. You're a man. And as men, we are self-sufficient. And once again, tell all men, young, old, in the middle, black, white, brown, yellow, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what culture or anywhere in the world. Men need to be told, come watch MGTOW videos and learn and decide for yourselves. See, that's what women don't like. That's what these social engineers don't like, is us making our own decisions, us talking about things. They don't like that. They don't like an alternative choice. See, that's what laws are about, is removing choice, removing freedom. Freedom of choice is something that women cannot stand. They cannot stand it. They won't stand for it, and that is why they fight. All at the same time, wishing, hoping, and praying, right, for correction, for discipline, because they're masochists all at the same time. All at the same time, right? That's why they're here commenting and bitching about it. But they also are getting their needs met, getting put in their place, feeling like women, right? They want to feel the hand of patriotism. I'm sorry, patriotism, patriarchy, right? Which has the same prefix, pat, man, patriotism. Men are patriotic. Men are patriotic. Women can have patriotic, right, thoughts and ideas. Of course they can be, right? But they aren't patriots. They don't stand up and fight the way men do, right? Because they're immoral. Fundamentally, if women weren't immoral, why are they doing what they're doing? So the accusation, right, that women are not moral, it's self-evident by their behavior. So much of MGTOW is self-evident. Right? If I stood up and said that women are aliens from the Pleiadian system, in the stars, there's nothing to support that. But if I stood up and said women are immoral, look at what they do to men in divorces, it becomes self-evident because of what they do. And I could say the entire system we have, the entire social structure, is in big trouble, and you can use statistics to prove it. Right? It is self-evident when you have the evidence, the proof. Women, these feminist whores, don't like that. They just want a little bit of spanking and to be turned on the loose and told that they can be their own women. But we're not going to give that to them. We're saying, okay, you want to come here and argue with us? Then you've proven who and what you are. And we're still not going to give you our money. We're still not going to change our mind. on this. You know, and all of these women that want traditional marriages, you're not going to get it. Sorry, girls. Sorry, because you aren't loud enough, because you don't represent women. It's not coming back. Generations and generations it will take to correct the brains that are out there. And there's going to be women that are going to continue, even if they started teaching home economics and finishing school again and telling women that they should just be wives. There's still going to be, for generations to come, women who want feminism and like it because of their social agenda, because of their political agendas, because they're just cock haters in general. That's never going to go away. Right? Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please thumbs up. Please like it. Right? And of course, I'll say it again, share it with other men. Old, middle-aged, married, divorced, single, and especially men who are engaged. You know, and I can't help but be shocked that men get married again thinking they just got a bad one. Oh, I just made a bad decision, that's all. Yeah, the world is full of good women, and I just happened to pick one of the bad apples. You know, not the case. Not the case. I've read too much psychology. I know too many psychologists. I've done too many interviews. I have too much life experience. I have too many facts on my side. MGTOW is happening because it has to happen. Men going their own way has to happen. It has to. For all the right reasons. You guys be cool. I'll talk to you again soon. MGTOW is freedom. I have the penis. And to women who want to comment on here, if you put more than 2 comments and you're nasty, I'm probably just going to ban you just because you're annoying as fuck. This channel is not about correcting women. This channel is about educating men. Because it is a patriarchy, and it should be a patriarchy. And we need to kill gynocentrism now. This is John, Semper Fi, out.